Hi everyone, and welcome to Screams After Midnight. This is the weekly horror discussion show on the Male Fuzz Podcast Network, on YouTube, iTunes, and Stitcher. Every week we talk about horror movies from the past and the present, and this week we're talking about Paranormal Activity, The Ghost Dimension, the sixth movie in the Paranormal Activity series. We covered the first 5 over the last few weeks. You can check those out. There'll be links on the YouTube video at the very least, and you can check those out. But as usual, Tim's here, Joseph's here, and Kevin's here. And fellas, it's all been building to this. It's all been building to the Ghost Dimension. And as always, guys, listening or watching, full spoilers for the movie ahead. So given that this is a new release, it's maybe more pertinent to mention that than usual. So full spoilers from this point on. You have been warned.
I don't think anyone really cares. No one really cares. This, if you're going to see Paranormal Activity 6, chances are you've seen 1 to 5. And then by now you've just given up on the franchise anyway, so no one really cares that there's spoilers.
If they've given up, then why are they going to see 6?
Because you make them.
Finally see the activity.
With the awful 3D.
You know, before we get into it, I want to talk about not the movie itself, but my actual movie experience. Because this is kind of weird. First of all, not a lot of theaters were playing it near me.
That's because a lot of them are boycotting it because of the on-demand thing. Yeah.
So I actually had to trek up to Hollywood Boulevard, which I hate because it's filled with tourists who stop every 5 seconds to take a picture of like Ricky Martin's star on the Hollywood Boulevard or something. But I got in there.
I would take a picture of Ricky Martin's star every time I passed it.
It's so weird, the stars that people take pictures of. But regardless, this has never happened to me before at the theater. But no one actually gave you 3D glasses, and I think I was the only one in the theater that knew it was in 3D because like no one gave it to me in the theater. So I was like, oh shit, like I better go down to the box office and get some. And then like right before the movie started, when it said, please put on your 3D glasses now, like half the theater went like, oh shit, and like got up and like ran to the door.
That's funny because none of my theaters that I've ever been to give you glasses like in the theater. You have to get them at the counter.
Yeah.
But you get to keep them though, because I've got the same pair that I've had for like 3 years, and I just take them every time I'm going to see something in 3D.
Oh, that's cool. They
I
usually make us
they
recycle them.
They give it to you at the tickets, and then there's a little recycling bin after the movie.
I don't know, you get to keep them here, because they cost 80 pence, which is just over $1, but you get to keep them forever. So you just keep them, take them back with you.
Although I always lose mine, and so I bought like countless pairs over the years.
See, that's just waste. You're not in a totalitarian state like these fellas. You actually have the freedom to not have to buy them every time. But
Wait,
no.
so
I choose. I choose to anyway.
do you just buy one pair and then like are the ticket prices less if you have your own glasses?
No, you just have to buy the glasses again. Like the tickets for 3D are still more expensive. Not for me. It's still free for me because I've got my unlimited card.
Yeah.
But if you're paying for tickets, yes, it's more expensive.
But how much is the difference between the regular price and the 3D ticket?
£2, so about $3, just over $3.
So about the same here.
Yeah.
But if you don't have your glasses, then it's even more expensive.
Yeah, it's
You have
another
to buy
$1 or
glasses.
so. Yeah.
All right.
Although the theater I went to this morning, they charge the same as they charge the same price for 3D as they do for normal, and then because it's Tuesday, they threw in the 3D glasses for free.
Oh, there you go. You had a nice experience today then.
Yeah.
Now, can we shut the fuck up about the way 3D glasses work at the theatres so we can talk about the actual movie? That'd be lovely. Alright, so this is the 6th Paranormal Activity movie, and we're back to a family in a house. It's set at Christmas, which I thought was interesting. Like, at least gave it a slightly different setting than usual. And weird shit starts happening, as per usual. But unlike before, one of the cameras that the people find in the boxes in their house can pick up some of the activity. So for the first time in the series, we actually get to see what's happening. I don't know if I'm speaking for everyone here, But right from the very first moment that you see the figure or whatever like come up from the floor or move, I'm like, okay, this is no chance of being scary.
Yeah.
Like all the scariness of this just went out the window.
Hmm.
I disagree with that. I wouldn't say I was scared, but I didn't think like I don't know. It didn't like lessen my enjoyment of it at all.
For me, it just opened the door to more jump scares. We lost a little bit more of that tense situation waiting for something to happen that we can't
Yeah.
see.
Yeah, the tension I thought was gone. Now, that's not to say that I'm about to shit in this movie entirely. I'm not. I think there are some things I liked, and I'll get through the positives first, I think. Because it's a shorter list. But I think I like the characters in this one more than I have in the last couple.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. The whole family as a whole kind of felt a little bit more
Yeah, the
enjoyable.
dad was cool. The mum was, fine. The brother was occasionally quite funny. In fact, the moment when he shouts out, "Fuck this! Next time I'm staying at mum's," got a huge laugh in my theater.
Yeah.
Everyone was laughing at that, and it was, legitimately quite funny.
Did you notice? Did you notice how Uncle Mike looked like Tim?
I did that a little bit. Yeah, there was a
Really?
bit of a Tim
Yeah,
vibe.
I'm not the only one who thought that.
Yeah, yeah, I had the
I
'70s
didn't
porn
see
stash, the hair. Like there was a bit of Tim going on in there.
Oh, I did like him. Maybe that's why. I didn't realize.
It was also just a tad funnier.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I like the characters a bit more. There was some elements to the mythology that were kind of adding, which I thought were okay. But honestly, a lot of it felt kind of felt like it didn't really go anywhere. But we'll save the ending for the end. I think we'll get to that later. 'Cause I think that's worth a whole discussion point on its own. But so yeah. So what did we think in general of this movie? Like where are we falling on this? Just in a sense, Tim.
Well, actually, I liked it. I didn't love it. It's not amazing. It's not like, gonna make my list of favorite horror movies ever. But I mean, in terms of like found footage movies and movies in this particular series in general, I mean, I thought it was okay. Um, I I wasn't overly excited after I saw it, but I wasn't like disappointed either.
I was fine with it for a lot of the runtime, actually. I mean, probably because I like the characters a decent amount.
Mhm.
And I think my being okay with it diminished in the last 20 minutes, but I don't want to get into that just now. I want to leave that for now. Joseph, what were your general feelings about it?
I felt that this was probably one of the least scary of the Paranormal Activities, but with the characters and actually getting a bit more of the story that we didn't get in 4 and 5. Actually, I just would rather just throw 4 and 5 out and just kind of make it this little 4 set movies, and I'd be fine with it. It's weaker than the first 3, but not by the same amount that 4 and 5 were. It's not that drastic difference.
Yeah, it is interesting actually how 4 especially feels so inconsequential
Yeah.
because it starts off directly tying it to 3, which in turn ties it to 2 and 1 because they're all really closely connected. 4 feels like it's almost like you could skip that and you wouldn't feel like you missed a thing. Literally, there's one line of dialogue in this where someone says, "Oh, and they think something might have happened to a family in Nevada." Oh, great.
Yeah.
Or it's like a spin-off film in the series.
Yeah.
I actually think if you take like this one, the third one, and the first one, it would actually make like a pretty nice little trilogy. Like the second one, I don't think is necessarily needed. Like it does add to the mythology and stuff, but
I think you need it mainly just for the Hunter stuff because Hunter is referenced in this.
Yeah.
yeah, but he's not even. I don't think he's really that important. But if I had to choose just 3, I think those would be the 3 that you could make like a nice little
Okay.
series out of.
Kevin, how did you feel? Because I know you had a funny opinion on this series compared to the rest of us because you weren't as keen on the first couple. or 2 and 3 that we liked, and then you liked 4, which everyone else hated. So, where do you fall in line with this?
Um, I yeah, I hated this one. Um, and this film actually made me rethink my opinion on four. And so my opinion on four has gone down, and my opinion on the first one has gone up. Um,
Well, this is a drastic
It's a
change here. Like,
roller coaster of ratings.
uh, like you said, this film didn't seem to go anywhere. I mean, yeah, the characters were good, I guess. I liked Mike. That's about it. Uh, I guess I don't know. I can't really remember much about this film, but I remember being very bored. I remember thinking going in, I don't have the patience for this series anymore. And I said to the people sitting beside me, I said, you know what, I might fall asleep once or twice because I really don't care about how much I miss of this film. But I didn't fall asleep. Guess that's a testament to how something
Did
it
you know the
was.
people, or were you talking to strangers?
No, I knew the people.
Okay.
I wasn't Joseph last week. I talked to
No, this week I was
strangers.
talking to those two random girls who were sitting behind me because I just enjoyed their reactions.
But like, it's
that's
weird
not
because
creepy at all.
yeah, slightly.
Hey, ladies.
Well,
Enjoy
when they
the
kick my
movie.
seat because they're jumping, I'm allowed to at least say something.
Two 13-year-olds behind him. He's like, "Hey, girls, what did you think of the movie?"
I had a horrible girl one seat over from me that like was so annoying. Like she screamed at everything, like louder than the person in the movie. I'm like, there's no way you're more scared than the person in the movie.
The only thing
Well,
that's happened to me is The Conjuring when we had two 12-year-olds sneak in to the showing.
Oh, yeah.
Everything that happened, they screamed bloody murder.
Uh,
Well, I do want to point out one other thing I liked actually. I liked that for the first time in the series, the characters were actually watching the tapes from the past movies. I liked
Yeah.
that. I liked that they factored into the plot.
one thing that I absolutely despised. It's not just one thing, but it's not that. I think it's a problem with every found footage film or a lot of horror films in general. But I could every single scare in this was a jump scare. Every single one of them. Like there was no tension built. There was no nothing. It was just jump scare over and over again. And I actually got to the point where I could time when the jump scares was coming. And like the first 3 or 4 jump scares, everyone was like, "Ooh, wow, I'm scared." But then eventually got to the point where like no one reacted to any of the jump scares. Like no one in my theater reacted, and I think everyone got a bit bored with it. That's what I got a bit bored with it. Also, the
Yeah.
CGI is awful.
Oh,
Yeah, CGI
The
for the
CGI,
demon or
the
whatever wasn't
hands.
very good.
when it
I didn't-
fell out of the ceiling.
Also, it didn't look.
I didn't have a problem with the CGI.
It
I don't
didn't
think it was
look
that bad.
at all. Well, this is the problem. Like the whole idea of Paranormal Activity in the first place was that it's what you don't see, right?
Yeah.
And obviously, 6 movies in, like, okay, let's put a twist on it so you do see it,
I don't
right?
know if I agree about that.
But the shut up.
No,
That
they
is
were
the point of
they were
Paranormal Activity.
taping it. They were taping it so they could see it.
But you don't see anything.
Yeah, but
to see
for the
things
audience, it's about
moving.
what you don't see.
You see a lot of stuff moving.
But not
No,
the
we see
entity
things
itself.
moving. We don't see the presence that is
But
moving.
you see activity. Something moving is activity.
Yeah,
If I
Paranormal
saw something
Activity,
moving
not.
by itself, I would
But we
say,
don't
"Oh,
see
that's a
the
parasite."
actual presence anymore. This one threw out all the tension by just throwing in the presence in your face.
That's like Tim. That's like arguing in Jaws. You do see tons of stuff because you see the water rippling.
Okay, well, I'm not.
That's not the
saying-
same as seeing the shark. All right.
You do see the shark in Jaws, so
Yeah, but
Yes,
limited.
and
Limited
it's better
amount.
because you get a limited view.
Oh, God,
I'm just
God.
saying. I don't think the point of the movies was not seeing something.
Oh, it so was. It was about what goes bump in the night. It was
Oh.
about making you scared about your own house because you hear creaks in the night. That is what Paranormal Activity was
And
based
you can't
on.
see what it is that's there.
Yeah.
I disagree with that.
Tim, you're so fucking wrong on this. I can't believe it.
I think you guys are wrong. I think Paranormal Activity, it's not just like blanket, like you either see something or you don't. It's like, no, there's activity. The whole point is that these people are being tormented by a demon, and that they're trying to figure out what's going on and film this stuff, and they're filming things and they're seeing stuff, so they don't see the actual creature, whatever. But I don't think that the whole point of the movie was just that you don't see something.
Well, Tim, to get to the point I was going to get at, is the demon, seeing him, and first of all, he looks nothing like my mind would have pictured him from the first movie, right?
Yeah.
That's the first point. Secondly, it makes everything way more goofy. I also think where the mythology goes in this one's a bit more goofy. Everything with the kid, drawing a portal on the wall. Like, a lot of that stuff just came across as a lot more goofy than anything else in the first three, at least.
See, I agree with that. I do think it was like more over the top and goofy than the other movies were,
The
but
last 20 minutes.
We're getting to that later, don't you worry.
but I feel like I don't think that's a bad thing though. I'm like, you know what? If this is the last movie, just throw all your chips in. Just make it as fucking crazy as you can. I didn't have a problem with that.
But it wasn't crazy. It wasn't enjoyable crazy. It was just
I enjoyed
this
it.
is so dumb crazy that I don't want to
I
watch
know.
this crazy.
I didn't think that at all.
Now,
It was, what's this shadow going to throw at you next? I mean,
Yeah.
run past you next. When is it going to do that?
now,
Yeah.
what I want, actually, before we get to the end, I want to have a couple of nitpicks throughout. Now, it's okay later on when they're watching the videotapes from, like, say, a year or two later, because they mentioned the tapes like range from the third movie to like 1992, which was like 3 years later, right?
Mhm.
But at the start of the movie, we get the ending of the third movie again, right? And then we get what happened right after it. We get like what happened when the girls went upstairs with the grandma, and there was this guy there who, like, we see in tons of videotapes and then never brought up again at the end. Like, he just disappears. But the actresses playing the kids were either different actresses, or the kids were just older and they looked different, right? One or the other, I'm not sure which. But it was really distracting, because it was meant to be as soon as they went up the stairs, and right away I noticed it. Now, I know that maybe they couldn't have done anything about that, because it's the nature of movie making. But did we need to have that scene that was set right after it? They could have got that point across so easily later on.
In another videotape.
Yeah, in another videotape that was set a year later, and it'd explain why they look so different. Because kids, age quick, don't they? I mean, when you're that age, a year, 2 years, it's a big difference in how you look.
Yeah, that was distracting.
That was distracting. That pulled me right out of it, right at the start. Now, I do want to build up to the ending, but one of the things I want to say, getting to the ending, is because this was the last movie, right? Because they were billing this as the final movie in the series, I thought, you know what? Maybe this one will end differently. Maybe this one will have not all the characters die, right? Because maybe this is the one where they finally actually either
Defeat
succeed,
the demon.
or defeat the demon, or if not defeat it, at least somehow get out of it, right? Somehow deal with it.
Can I say something before
Right,
you get to that? Just because it goes along with that.
Okay.
So I don't want you to get to the point yet, but when they have like that priest come in or whatever, and he's like, "We don't need an exorcism. We need an extermination." I was like, yes, like, yeah, they're finally gonna bring it to this Toby motherfucker. They're gonna like kick this guy's ass. Like, I got really excited because I'm like, yeah, like you're saying, like, yeah, let's actually put up a fight and like get this guy.
Which is good. Yeah, I kind of agree with that. I don't know if I get excited. Maybe that's too strong a term for me, but
well, I didn't jump up
yeah,
in my seat.
I got
but was-
interested because I thought, okay, this is actually different than other ones. This is them finally taking the fight to it. They're actually going to, it's not just putting salt on the floor. It's not just trying to detect it. This is them actually trying to fight it with fire. Because this is the first time I think we've had a priest. We've had like a psychic, but this is the first time they've actually got like a an element of religion in the house to deal with it.
They had in the first one. They had
Yeah.
that one guy that like came and then left.
Yeah, it was
and
a
then
psychic, I think.
I thought he was a priest. I guess I could be wrong.
I think it was a
But-
psychic. I'm sure. It was a
Okay.
I
psychic.
thought the
But-
priest was going to bring in a team because he did mention at one point he spoke to somebody outside the church, and that's when he brought up, we don't need an exorcism, we need. I was expecting him to have a team together to start fighting.
Yeah, I was
No.
expecting a team of like priests, like the Ghostbusters, coming in.
Also, whenever he said, "We don't need an exorcism, we need an extermination," and they started like fill the bath, I thought for a brief minute that they were going to drown the child. Like, my God, this is somewhat dark.
Sure,
For,
they should have brought the priest from Brain Dead in. It's like, I kick ass for the Lord. Like, should have brought him in. He would have been great. You seen Brain Dead, Joseph? See Brain Dead. It's a hoot. Or Dead Alive. Whatever the title
You'll-
is in the US. I can't remember what it's called.
The US, we call it Dead Alive.
Called Dead Alive, right?
You'll like it, Joseph.
You like it. Peter Jackson's best movie.
I would like to see-
You throw that out there on purpose for me.
But
I actually do like the idea now of like a almost like a Avengers-esque team-up movie of like priests from all these different like movies, like dude from The Exorcist, like a dude from from Dead Alive.
that sounds kind of amazing. That's putting the badass in priest, which is not something I think anyone's ever said before. But yeah, like, so this is all building up, and they're actually going to fight it, and I'm thinking, oh, maybe this will actually have a different ending. Nope. It has the exact same thing where all the main characters get killed in like this quick succession of like 3 minutes, 4 minutes, and then it fails to feel like a conclusion, even remotely. It leaves so much up in the air, so much unanswered. It doesn't even pay like. They reference Katie, like they imply that Katie's the one that sold them the house, right?
Yeah.
And we've seen Katie in almost every one of these movies except 5, and she's not in this one, and it felt really weird not having her there.
It's like,
Like,
when
so
did she
weird.
get her real estate license?
Good question.
That could be like a whole other movie in itself.
They mention Hunter, and that Toby needs Hunter and the
Leela.
daughter, the Layla, to become like corporeal, become human or whatever. And you don't see him at the end. There's no reference to him at the end. It's weird. It's just like it's not brought up.
We just see her, and we know that she's given some blood, and
Yeah.
we see some legs.
On top of that, this happens in the past. This happens in 1992. She goes back through time, which means throughout the first 2 and 4 and 5, Toby's already a human being walking around because of fucking time travel. Right? So that's point number 2 or 3. I've lost track, but there's lots of points.
You know what? I didn't even realize that.
Yeah, he's haunting.
That's true.
While he's haunting fucking, Katie in the first movie, he's actually also in the same time zone or the same time period as a human being
Yeah, that's
walking
weird.
around. Yeah, that's fucking
It
weird.
is.
That really, sours the entire idea, and it's like, now you know what? One on its own, just a standalone movie, no sequels. Like, that's just.
Yeah.
So not only is there no Katie, which doesn't wrap up anything, not only is there no Hunter, which feels like he's missing. Not only does it just like you see legs and then he walks off, like you still don't know what his plan was. This whole he's raising an army of like firstborns from the last movie, not referenced at all. We don't know what that's for. Earlier on in this movie, it's the priest mentions, oh, Toby's probably just a human name to disguise who it really is. I thought, okay, they're going to either reveal it's the devil, Satan himself, or
a powerful demon.
a specific, one of the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse, whatever it is. Like they were going to reference this and like it was going to be revealed later. Never brought up again. Right? Never brought up. I thought that was going to be interesting. Never brought up. Every character that I cared about just gets killed really quickly, and then it goes off on a cliffhanger. And they've said quite succinctly this is the last one, at least the last one they're planning for now. So either they're lying and they're planning a sequel, in which case fuck you for being, lying scumbags, or this is the end and they had no idea how to wrap this up. They had no idea. Like, I'm not saying you can't have ambiguity in your ending, in your final ending. You can. But this did not resolve. It doesn't even have to answer. It just has to resolve elements that we've been seeing throughout the series, and it doesn't resolve most of them. It just doesn't.
Also,
So quite frankly, the last 10 minutes of this movie pissed me off. I left the theater fucking enraged because this did nothing to resolve this series. It ended with the exact same type of fucking cliffhanger we've seen in a lot of these movies. It was nowhere near as interesting.
it's just
bullshit.
Yeah, all these films are just because they're all just so formulaic. It's just something happens, then they start filming, and something else happens, and then they all die. It's like, I don't care about it anymore. It's like, also, if they're making a seventh one, you can bloody Connor can fill in or something, because I'm not watching a seventh one of these films. I swear to God.
No, Kevin, no. If there's a seventh one, you're watching it. Don't you worry.
Also, whenever the very start, whenever it's a bit lighthearted, and Mikey, and the main character are like first discover the tapes, and like they start saying, "Oh, these could be porn tapes," and then they're like, "Oh yes, look at her shoulders," and then like it zooms in on the kid, and then Mikey or someone says, "Oh, this is when it gets good," and it's just what the hell? Oh my God! The whole film left a very sour taste in my mouth, and I didn't.
See, I see the problem is I like the characters for the most part, and I like I was worried early on that the wife was going to be oh no, nothing's happening, you're being stupid.
Yeah.
But that was quite quickly turned around, and she did start to experience stuff, and she quickly jumped on board. So that was fine. But then, the last 15, 20 minutes, whatever it was. And then
what kind of...
Even like the sheet over the thing when he was in the circle.
Yeah.
And he was like struggling in the circle.
Yeah.
You're going to trap a demon in the Star of David and wrap it in a blanket of holy water and burn it to hell.
Which then turned out to have absolutely zero effect.
Yeah.
All it did was piss it off.
I have to say, whenever they came up with the idea to throw a blanket on it, I burst out laughing. I couldn't take it seriously.
And what the fuck's he wanting to be a human for? What's his plan? What's he trying to do? Fucking none of this is even hinted at.
No, it did kind of hint because it was they took it in Revelations, so they were hinting at the apocalypse, that he was going to bring about one of the beasts of the apocalypse.
That's bloody vague, though. I mean, that's...
What really upset me was like they showed that kick-ass picture that looked like a goat with a bunch of eyes.
Yeah. I thought of you, Tim. I thought of you.
I thought, like, if this is what the demon's gonna end up being, fucking A. Like, this is... everything's redeemed. The whole series is redeemed. If this motherfucker, like, pops out at the end. But... And
he
I
never looks like that. He never looks like that.
Legs.
And you saw the legs, like, I kept waiting for, like, okay, he's gonna bend down and you'll see he has kind of like a hairy body and this kind of like demony face that maybe looks kind of like that or something. Nothing that really pissed me off.
Yeah, the ending was such a damn scrub. The entire theatre groaned when the director's credit came up, because we all thought, oh, there'll be that a little bit and it'll be like the final sort of, we'll see his face or it'll reveal something, and it didn't. It just credit, and it's like, oh, fuck you, movie.
Yeah.
Weird thing, did any of you guys in your movie theaters have a ton of commercials for A Scout's Guide to the Zombie Apocalypse?
Yeah, I had a clip for it and then a trailer.
I just had a trailer.
And then did you get it during the credits too?
Not during the credits. No.
It's like for our theater, they showed like a clip in a trailer, and then they also said, and stay tuned after the movie for a special Halloween announcement. And then right as the movie ended, they go into the credit, it says like directed by, and then right after that, instead of the rest of the credits, they have another one of those Scouts Guide commercials.
No, I never got that, and I've seen that. I didn't leave that quickly that I'd missed that.
Yeah.
I don't know, I just thought it was really bizarre. Because actually, one thing I was thinking about, I didn't mention it in the other movies, but I kind of like the way they do the credits where it's just like complete silence. So I actually kind of like that. And then like, yeah, for this movie, they couldn't even do that. Like it was just like silent for a second and then a little clip from that.
But I even thought was going to happen. Like, see, when they started watching the tapes, I thought, okay, they've got all the tapes. Maybe they do defeat the demon, right? And then the end of the movie would be, this is why we've been able to watch all of these movies, is these are the ones that actually compile all the footage, because they've got everything.
Yeah.
From all the movies, right? Except maybe the fifth one and fourth one, but whatever. But they're the ones we care about, 1, 2, 3, right? And maybe that's how we have this footage, because the end of the first one, or even the start of the first one, and maybe even the second one, does this thing where it comes up as if it's a police evidence, and it says the police would wish to thank, or Paramount would wish to thank the police county of blah 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 blah, as if it was like found footage that the police had, and they completely dropped that idea like after the third one, because it ends up being mystical. Like, how do these tapes end up in the basement? How do they, like,
And that whole like plot with like they're watching the tapes and then like Christy on the tape is able to see them, that like went nowhere.
No, it
Like
didn't.
it,
No.
it seemed like it was going to be a bigger thing. Like I thought maybe they were going to start communicating
And it
with
was
her
cool.
somehow.
And it was cool. It would have been cool if they'd done that because it was a cool
Yeah.
idea.
But then yeah, it's nothing. And then another question I had was like when they're using that old camera. Well, first of all, uh, is there something special about that camera that it can see? Is it just because it was old, or was it specifically
No, remember
They
designed?
said it had two
Yeah.
extra.
It had six picture tubes
So-
instead of 4.
Yeah.
So did someone specifically design it so it could
Well, yeah,
capture
like
that
it's-
stuff?
because they say at one point that he thinks that they used it back then to see Toby, so they
Okay.
designed it to see him. So it was like modified to do it.
But like,
Okay.
whenever he first discovered it, why would he keep using it? Why would he not just like throw it away or something when he has a digital camera?
Well, because he started seeing that stuff, he didn't know what it was yet. And that's kind of
Yeah, to be fair,
interesting.
I'll give it one bit of credit. There was a reason why he keep using that camera, even when things were scary, because it's the only thing that could see the ghost.
Mm.
You know, it made sense for them to keep using it, even when they were in dangerous situations, because you know it's the only thing that can see it. Without
And
it,
when he would look over the tapes because he even goes to
Yeah.
his daughter. Hey, I saw this hovering over you last night. You want to talk to me? Tell me what this was.
What I didn't get though, like, what was he actually recording this stuff when he was using that camera? Because like, there's a couple of times like earlier on in the movie where he would be trying to tell like someone like his brother or his wife what was going on, and they wouldn't believe him, and they're like, "Oh, it's probably just this
Maybe
or
not,
that
I
or
don't know.
something." But it was like, we'll just show her the tape. Like, if you show that tape, that's like, there's nothing that's gonna mistake. Like,
maybe he wasn't recording until he was actually setting up at night to record.
yeah.
Yep.
Because that,
Yeah.
that was the sort of the first time he started showing footage after that, I think.
But then we didn't. How did we get all this footage?
Yeah.
Who the fuck cares at this point?
But another quick nitpick I had too was like with their kind of like hippy dippy spiritual friend, like there was, it seemed like weird the way like some people would seem like they were believers at first and then like they're skeptics like later on, like that like spiritual lady, like during the beginning I think she was like talking about energies and spirits and stuff, and then like at another point in the movie, she said something like, "Oh, like nothing's going on. It's probably Leela's just going through a phase or something." I'm like, "You're like the crazy spirit lady."
I
Like,
think
if
she was just
anyone
trying to
should,
comfort her.
Yeah.
She was just
No,
trying
I
to comfort
think-
her at that moment. But
To be fair, when she was talking about spiritual and all that, she was talking about feng shui. Like,
that's what she did for a living.
but
Yeah.
they were making her out to be someone that believes in all this kooky crazy stuff.
I want that job. That's a fucking easy job. I'll just make up some bullshit about
Nobody
it.
move everybody's furniture around.
Your couch should point that way. I said so. Give me $20, please.
But like,
Only 20. You're cheap.
did she have any sort of did that like feng shui lady have any sort of relation to any of the people in the
I
house?
think she was the sister of the mum.
All right, that makes sense because I was wondering.
I thought she was
wondering
just
why
like her
she-
friend.
Yeah.
She was just like a
Friend-
friend or
Friend
sister.
or
or
sister.
something.
One of the two.
A friend who was like a sister.
Yeah. Oh well. Does anyone else want to say anything before we get to the ratings?
I actually felt that the characters here were a lot smarter because as they would watch the tapes and learn about this, him going back and researching, they did seem to try to use that in how they dealt with it.
Yeah,
When they
yeah.
found out that she was talking to Toby, they were like, "Don't talk to Toby anymore." Bringing the priest, trying to get in, and then even saying, "Hey, we need to leave, right? We need to leave right now." And the priest saying, "No, it doesn't haunt the house. It haunts the people. It's going to follow you." I felt that the overall characters as a whole were a lot more intelligent than a lot of the families we've had in the past.
Yeah, I enjoyed that. There's even the one scene where they do actually leave, which like is like, even though the priest like tells them like it's not gonna matter, like I would still be like, "Fuck this, I'm going to a hotel."
Yeah.
Or something, like where at least I'll be in more control, it'll be a smaller confined space, I can keep an eye out, like
Mhm.
Yeah, these are all valid points, and I like the characters too, and I think the way they handle things. But ultimately, this movie was a series of reasonable ideas that were not capitalized upon, and then the ending is the biggest stamped squib of a fuck you to the audience that's been following this series that I have ever had the misfortune of seeing. So, with that said, let's get to the ratings.
Okay.
And this week, we're going to rate Sexy Shoulders out of 10. And Kevin, we will start with you.
You know what? I really did not enjoy watching this. I did not enjoy paying for it. I would have. I really wish we had have like waited until it was available online, before we would have reviewed it, because I could have at least not wasted any money on it. Um, the
So basically, Kevin's review is, I wish I pirated it.
I really regret going, and it was on a Tuesday, which means I guess I wasted less money on it, but I still wasted some money on it. So
Fuck's sake, just give us a rating.
I'm gonna give it how much money it took away from me. I'm gonna give it a 3 out of 10.
3 out of 10. Is that the worst in the series for you?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Joseph.
I felt that there were a lot of parts I enjoyed. I did enjoy the characters. I enjoyed that we returned to the actual story, even if it didn't wrap it up. So, I would originally give it a 5, but because we have a lack of conclusion, and this is supposed to be the last one, I'm going to bump it to a 4.5 sexy shoulders out of 10.
Tim?
Well, I did actually enjoy it. I think I enjoyed it more than you guys. I do tend to.
Hey, Joseph, brace yourself for a rating that's higher than The Haunting.
I know, it's Tim. I
do-
don't take his ratings too seriously.
Hey, I do tend to be more excited about stuff like when I like just get out of the theater. So I feel like when I first got out of the theater, I did actually like it more, but the more we nitpick about it, the less I like it.
Should we nitpick it more?
But I still did enjoy it. I don't regret it, so I'll give it a 6.
Okay.
Oh, that's lower than The Haunting. You gave that like a 6.5.
Yeah.
That's good. Well, that's good. You're not completely
If like
crazy.
if you asked me when I first got out of the theater, I might have been like, oh, that's
8.
actually pretty cool. Like not an 8, but like maybe like a 7 or something. But yeah, the more I think about it and the points we're bringing up, I'm like, yeah, I can't do that.
I think the best part about this film was afterwards, me and a few friends ripping it apart. That was the most enjoyment I got out of this film. I really.
Well, I guess that comes to me, and I did like the characters. It presented me with a lot of interesting ideas. It then forgot all those interesting ideas. And the ending really pissed me off. That said, still not as bad as 4.
Yep.
Yeah.
4's worse. So, with that said, 4 out of 10.
Wow.
So, that is a shame. I was hoping this one would have swung it back around and given us a good conclusion, and it did not. So, that's a shame. So, finally, we can say we're done with Paranormal Activity series.
You know, before
And even if they do make a 7th one, we're talking at least a year, 2 years before we have to watch another one. So, you know.
Instead of all 6 in a month.
Yeah, because we have to watch all 6 of these in the space of a month. So, you know.
Before this came out, I would have said that this needs to be the last one, that I wouldn't want to see anymore. But now, actually, I would like them to make one more, just like to really see, like, you know,
Where would
some
we go
type
with
of
the
just
next one?
See, that's the thing.
just
See,
just to see people fuck up the demon Toby.
do you know what? I wouldn't want them to make another one like this. I'd want them to make
Yeah.
a non-found footage movie.
That's the only way I can see it working.
Yeah,
Yeah.
with a band of heroes that have been that have found these tapes and are hunting
Yeah.
Toby. That's what I want.
The daughter
See-
from 2, the guy who we didn't know die in the 5th one because we just kind of left him few of the other
And the-
characters, throwaway
And the
ones.
brother from this one with like a fucked up burnt face.
Oh, what about the
Oh,
guy?
he survives?
The guy from the
Yeah.
third movie who left halfway through because he was smart.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Remember the
yeah.
assistant?
All of them
Yeah.
band together to
Yeah.
take on this coven of witches
See, that would be badass. Like that, I would see
and
that.
just stop the apocalypse.
And to start the
Yeah.
apocalypse. Actually, I think. No, do you know what? Just fucking bring in Ash. Connect this to the Evil Dead series. Bring in Ash and let him take on Toby. I think that is the only way to satisfactorily do this. Alright, guys, that has been Screams After Midnight. We were hoping to do Halloween this week, but then Paranormal Activity 6 get moved up. So, for the episode just after Halloween, we will be talking about the original Halloween movie from John Carpenter. A movie which I'm pretty sure everyone's going to be happy to watch. So, I'm certainly going to be happy to watch it. So, yeah. I've been Peter. Tim's over there.
Nope.
Kevin's down there. Joseph's underneath me. That's if you're on the video. If you're on the audio, then these placements mean nothing to you. We're all just vapors in the sky. But
Sexy vapors.
sexy vapors. But do subscribe on YouTube, subscribe to the podcast on iTunes, subscribe on Stitcher, thumbs up, 5 stars, like us, all that jazz. Comment with your thoughts on the movie below, or email us at mailedfuzz@gmail.com. Follow us on Twitter at mailed_fuzz. But otherwise, guys, keep watching scary movies. I'm too tired to listen to everyone plug stuff.
Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween
Well, happy Halloween, yeah.
and goodbye.